Hello, Aries. This is your June 2020 Mercury Retrograde reading. As I mentioned in the introductory video, I feel this particular Mercury Retrograde cycle has a lot to do with emotional reconciliation. It's about getting back in touch with ourselves, feeling free again, letting go of challenges that have been going on in our lives. I mean, let's face it, the first half of this year has been absolutely brutal with a lot of the things that are going on globally right now. And it's very, very possible that you've gone through some challenges yourself. Most people out there see Mercury retrograde cycles as just a sort of a time to hide away. It's when everything starts breaking. It's when emails get lost in the shuffle. It's when communication between you and your friends or loved one everything gets all mixed up. But I also think it's an opportunity for us to grow in this cycle, and we can come out of it feeling better. We can come out of it as basically a better version of ourselves. So what I'm going to do is just throw down a particular spread for you, and then we'll look at the best ways to navigate this particular cycle so that you can come out of it feeling great. For Aries specifically, I chose this Under the Roses Lenormand deck. The imagery on it is a little bit more on the hazy and dismal side, but honestly it felt appropriate, and the roses stood out to me for some reason. But I'm just going to shuffle these and then we'll go through them. I'm not a huge shuffler. I just sort of go until it feels like it's time to stop. So basically what shows up in the center is always sort of the theme of the particular reading. The grave is never a good thing. That's the coffin in Lenormand. That's an ending. That means something has stopped. Or it could even imply, since we're building this around things that are emotional, that you feel kind of dead inside. Maybe you've gone through some difficult experiences on a personal level lately. The tree is all about your well-being. Sometimes it's about physical health, sometimes it's about family or different aspects within yourself you need to get grounded. Now the cross over here, in some decks, the cross can be seen as like a divine type gift or some type of karmic intervention. That's not stuff that I really give a whole lot of credence to. But in this particular deck, this cross is not a good card. It's black, it's sort of ugly, it really focuses on burdens. So whatever came to an end over here is definitely affecting your health and your well-being and your emotional wellness in a very negative way. It's creating a lot of burdens for you. Now we'll look at the column here. And I see this column basically as something where this is sort of what you aspire toward. This is the place that you want to get to. The Lilies card in this instance would be all about finding a new level of peace, finding some serenity within yourself, something that is long lasting, not just these temporary bursts of happiness where you forget about all your problems for a while, so that your well-being gets back in order. But in order to do that, it looks like we have the crossroads down here. Now, the crossroads is all about, well, sometimes it's about making choices. Am I going to go in direction A or am I going to go in direction B? But in this particular instance, I would see this as getting yourself down a brand new road. You need to get out of this funk that's going on here and get yourself down a new path in order to achieve this level of peace in your health that you want. And I'm going to throw down some clarification here too and see what's going on around this. Excuse my OCD here. I have to have these laid out a certain way. Now, I first learned about this particular layout from another reader here. Her name is Layla, the Lenormand reader. I find her to be incredibly talented. Her and I do read things differently, but again, every reader really has their own style when it comes to things. Every reader out there is going to interpret things in a slightly different way, and that's fine because everybody needs their own style. But this box we see here it basically lets us know what's going on around the situation. The heart, that obviously is your heart center, how you're feeling toward love, how your emotions are in general, and especially when we see the heart next to the moon. The moon sometimes is about reputation, but it's very much a card of emotions. It's a card that talks about how you're feeling. And then we have the letter. The letter sometimes is written communication, but I think it's going to have a slightly different meaning here. And then we have the ring card, which the ring card is sometimes about cycles, sometimes it's about commitments too. You know, to be honest with you, I think some of you may have gone through some pretty difficult heartbreak. When you see the grave and the ring and the heart together, a lot of times in readings that'll indicate maybe a really, really difficult breakup. And that would make a lot of sense. But we're not necessarily going to look at things super specific here either. But basically what's going on around this is your heart, your emotions, communication down here, and commitment. So you've got some positive forces here working on your side. It's letting you know your heart wants to get healed, because the heart is in combination up here with that peaceful lily card, as well as your emotions are too. But I believe what it's letting you know here is that you have to find a way to release them. Anybody who is really creative by nature has a tendency to be quite emotional as well. I'm not an Aries, but I'm definitely an emotional type person. And when we see the moon right up above the letter here, that's saying emotional communication, creative communication. And it's attached over here to the burdens. So what I believe that's saying to us is we've got to find a way to release these burdens by being creative. For some of you, you may be writers. For others, maybe you're into poetry or singing or music or art or anything. But I strongly believe in order to achieve this level of balance, which is what's showing up right here in the middle, and peace, you've got to find a way to release those emotions throughout this cycle. That's going to be absolutely critical. And with the ring over here, you have to find a way to commit to it. It has to be something that you stick with. You have to tell yourself, you know what? I am done with this stuff. I am putting myself first, and I'm going to get this problem resolved so I can just feel like me again. I mean, that's ultimately what I want to be able to get to. So let's look at some of the diagonals here too. We have the heart, the tree, and the letter. I would see that as a message to communicate from the heart and from your soul, basically. In order to get your health back, you have to let this stuff out. You can't hold it in, because anything that you're holding in is going to create more burdens for you, which we see over here with the cross card. And then we also have the moon, the tree, and the ring. So you need to make a commitment emotionally to your well-being. That's really, really what it comes down to. It's all about really maintaining this commitment. It's very possible that things could slip up for you, things could start to go backwards, but when things start feeling that way and you feel yourself start spiraling back down into that place you were in before, you have to remind yourself, nope, I'm committed here. I'm going to get through this. I have to get through this, because if I don't, I'm not going to make it down here to this new road. A couple other things that we can look at here is the heart, the lilies, and the moon. Basically, to get this peaceful feeling, we have to, the heart and the lily, that's our peaceful feeling in our emotions. Again, we have to communicate down this new road, and we have to stay committed. It's all very, very clear to me here. Now, I also want to look down the sides, because sometimes the sides on this diamond will give you a little bit more information. With the lilies, the moon, and the cross, basically these peaceful emotions are currently being burdened. We know they're being burdened by all the drama that happened back here. And then when we see the cross, the letter, and the crossroads, this communication that you have to let out, all of these emotions that you're holding up inside of you, it's not going to be easy. It's not like you can just jump onto your phone and type some stuff in there saying, you know what, I'm mad about A, B, and C, or I'm pissed off at this guy because he did this to me, and feel better. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be emotionally challenging, but the more you do it, it leads you down this new road. And then we also have the road, the ring, and the grave. Now that might seem not like the best combination when something ends in the grave like that, but once you get down this new road, and once you make a commitment to sticking with it and letting all of these emotions go, the problems end for you. You don't have to worry about them anymore. They're over, they're done with. And then lastly, we have the grave, the heart, and the lilies, which made me, that just basically told the story in the beginning. I probably should have started with that one, because that's an ending in the heart, and it disrupted your peace. But as you follow this around, you're easily going to be able to get yourself back to this level of wellness that you desire. Just to quickly summarize, make a commitment to yourself during this cycle. Communicate emotionally all of these burdens that are, communicate emotionally all of these burdens that are bringing you down. Let them all out. Stay committed to it, and you'll eventually get yourself back into that really, really good place. Because let's look at this right here as our final. We have the heart, the lily, the moon, and the tree. Heart's in a good place. It's feeling peaceful. Our emotions are balanced. They're feeling peaceful too. And all of these three cards are right up above our overall well-being. So really, really push through for this particular cycle. Let me know how it works for you. Let me know if you found this particular reading helpful. And I absolutely look forward to speaking with you again.